The most powerful tool that you have in your life is your mind. What most people don't realize is that the devil doesn't need to imprison you for you to be bound. He just needs to mess up your head with things like low self-esteem, hate, aggravations, stress, worry. Those small voices you hear every day that make you believe that you're less than, or that you're not free, or that you will never change. That's where he wins his battle. He doesn't have to beat you in real life. He just has to beat you in your mind, because he knows that if he mess up your head, he will mess up your life. And the way you lose is by believing him. That's what Adam and Eve did in the garden. They knew what God told them, but they believed the wrong guy. So the way for you to win and to lose is through your belief. And belief comes from your mind. That's why you have to protect your mind, because both your salvation and you getting lost starts in your mind first. You need to believe God in order for you to be saved. And the same way, if you believe the enemy, that's how you get lost. And the thing is, the enemy is not really sovereign. Because when we hear these voices in our head, we tend to believe they're true because he said so. So the moment he told you, you will never amount to anything, you believed him. Or when he says, you are the shame of the family, you believe him. Every time you hear those deceptive voices, it doesn't mean they're true. It just means the enemy is loud. Everything he says isn't true. The Bible told us he's a liar. The way you win this fight is by standing in what you know about God, because that's what he's attacking. You know you're saved. You know you're healed. You know you were fearfully and wonderfully made. These are things you know about yourself. And that's what he attacks. Because if he can destroy the knowledge of God, he can destroy the way you see yourself, and he can have you. So your job is to protect what you know and to stand on God's promises, so that whenever he tells you, you'll never amount to anything. You are a shame, a disgrace. You tell him, I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. I am the child of the Most High. I am loved and protected. I've been saved. Because every time you have those voices in your head, if you believe them, your self-esteem decreases, right? You become less. But if you resist him by standing on what we know, he will flee. And we already know this when it comes to the science of self-control. Being a self-controlled person doesn't mean you're strong, that anything that happens to you, you can just push it out, or you destroying every thought that comes into your head. Self-controlled is when you resist. There is no difference between you resisting those voices in your head and you being self-controlled, all right? You have to picture it as a fight, and one side has to win. And which side wins is which side is the most willing to stand their ground and to not give up. That's why it's so important to know Bible verses and know the Word of God. That's why I've been reading the Bible very much lately. It's to know the promises of God and what he says I am, instead of what the devil makes me believe I am. So my challenge for you today is to stand on what you know about God and to believe it. Because if you believe the enemy, you will definitely lose. But if you believe in the word of the Most High and you stand on it, he will flee from you. So I challenge you today to find one verse about you, whether it's you're fearfully and wonderfully made, or I will protect you, or whatever. You find the verse and you repeat it to yourself. Because our self-worth has been destroyed by what the media and the news has been telling us about ourselves, but we know who we are. So please find the verse, and I'll try to do the same.